Yeah.
Are in the
It
frame.
is beautiful. What was your question? Why is it run by a controller?
Why
Well,
not?
The control, it's not run by the controller, it's run by the hard drive. The,
Well,
let's let,
this is the main computer, and you see, as Anu said, we have 23 compute nodes. So it's what's amazing is that you're telling the controller to move in a certain position to this machine, and this machine is telling all these other machines what each one of these machines is controlling part of the data on some of these monitors, and it's splitting it up. And so this is the creative part when you become a computer scientist is how do you split up this data for all these processors and reassemble it on the monitors.
So that as it rolls across here, it looks smooth to me like a piece of cloth as opposed to what's really going on underneath there.
yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. So there's a lot of intelligence in the computing system and in the way it's designed and in the way that it's been put together. So, yeah, it's very cool. So do a lot of you, I'm sure all of you use computers right at school already? Yeah? Great. All right, let's go ahead and move to maybe one more data set that we have to show in another science domain. So what other aspects of science do you think would benefit from visualization clusters and the technology that you're seeing in this room? So we were looking at, with Milky Way, we were looking at astronomy, you know, the galaxy. With the H1N1, we were looking at biomedical applications. What other types of science do you think would benefit?
I don't know, with the brain, I guess more medical fields.
Yep. Definitely a lot of biomedical and biotechnology. It's huge.
Like
It's huge.
neuroscience.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
What is that, a barcode?
The RNA sequencer.
Oh, wonderful.
Have you guys learned about DNA or RNA in
Yeah.
your
Yeah, Miss B,
I
she
don't know
would
what
put about
RNA is, but you told me I forgot. RNA is, so you know, DNA is the code for everything in your body.
Right.
So RNA is the code that comes after DNA to make all the proteins in your body.
Okay. Okay.
So, DNA is the four molecules A, T, G, and C. RNA is basically the same thing, instead of it's A, U, G, and C. So we have an immense amount of DNA in our body, and this is just like a minuscule fraction of it.
So is this a person?
I don't know.
Is this like from a person or
I don't know if it's a person.
or a rat?
Yeah.
It might be a
It
rat.
might be a lab rat.
It is the RNA for a living creature. We just
Yeah.
don't know
But
if
it's a single living creature, and it's not the whole thing. It's just a small,
A
teeny
very
piece
small
of it.
part of it, yeah. So, yeah, RNA, but like it's the same material that like our proteins are made of.
Who's got the controller?
I don't know.
Are you enjoying using that? Is that kind of a neat?
So yeah, there's so much data in your RNA, it's hard to look at even just, that much of it.
Right. But you might be able to see something when it's this way, as opposed to if it was just in like numbers.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm sure all of you know that we're visual creatures. As human beings, we're visual creatures. So the ability to visualize data is extremely important in science, but in any aspect of life, really. But particularly for scientists and research, visualizing is what leads to the insights that they have. Because like I mentioned earlier, when you're just looking at code, it doesn't really mean anything to you. But once it turns into a visualization, you're like, wow, I never saw it that way before. And also there's a validation process. They have to visualize to make sure that their code is accurate.
Why are there blank spaces?
What are the blank spaces? It looks like an empty Legos, like somebody forgot to put the Legos there to me.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I wish I did. Okay, what questions do you guys have?
We have a question over here.
Okay.
How many gigabytes in RAM is inside the computer?
For each
Ben?
computer.
How many gigabytes and RAM is makes up this system? I guess we might have to.
Actually, it's right here.
Okay.
It's got the book.
The book
manual.
of stuff.
The manual says enormous.
Started on this.
Just give a number.
Yeah, it says ginormous.
16 per node. Sorry.
16 gigs per node.
23 nodes.
And there's 23 nodes. So
16 times 23.
yes.
You good with you, man? Yeah, you good. Don't grab the calculator, fool.
You thought what I was doing.
So it's a lot.
Yeah, so 16
Um,
times 23.
That's a lot of gigs.
Yeah, it is. Jay, do you have any questions for us?
Oh, what was the last question asked?
How many gigabytes of memory? And it was 16 per node, and we have 23 nodes.
Okay. So, like, what in terms of some of the scientific problems that you're looking at today? Like, what problems do you think that this system could help alleviate that would really be a help to society?
Yeah, that's a great question because there are several what we would call grand challenge questions. And these grand challenge questions are the biggest questions in science today. The very biggest grand challenge question is about energy and how the country and how the world is going to become more energy efficient and what types of energy are going to be the best to use moving forward. So supercomputing. So I've been saying that this is advanced computing, but another pseudonym for it is supercomputing. So these are all supercomputing systems. So supercomputing is aiding the energy questions that we have to ask. It's aiding questions about water and how to enable more clean water throughout the world. So those are a few of the grand challenge questions, but you can apply supercomputing to anything. As a matter of fact, one of the points I really want to make to you is all of you use supercomputing in your everyday lives and you probably don't even realize it. Cars are modeled with supercomputing. They do all the crash testing and all before you even get into your car. That all has to be done on a supercomputer before they can put a car out. Because they can't just take a car and crash it, because that's a waste of a car. And you'd have to do like thousands of crash tests, right, to get your data. So they do them all on a supercomputer. So safety with vehicles, weather forecasts, anytime you look at the weather, that's all being done with supercomputing behind the scenes. So you use supercomputing every day and you might not even realize it.
So this is the slice of a rat brain. So to be what this is useful for is neuroscientists can come in and look at all the different shapes, and if there's a disease like a neurodegenerative disease, they can see how it affects the brain cells.
Look, there's a little white bird.
I wonder what those white spots are.
Yeah. See, those are the kind of questions a scientist would be asking.
No.
Exactly.
It won't show up. It won't show up.
Yeah, so these are cells that you can't actually see, so that's why you need to blow it up.
Right.
Let's go ahead and move over to Mustang. We're going to use the 3D glasses.
3D glasses.
You want a video? Huh? You want to record?
Give it to somebody else who doesn't have one.
That we use. And by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but we have Bronx, Stallion, Mustang. We have all these Texas names.
Yep. All those
Since we're at Texas University, we name a lot of our systems after Texas themes. So
You might start recording.
y'all are gonna
Are you still recording?
Yeah, this lab.
I'm playing.
In particular is horses.
I like
yeah.
you.
Okay, so we have 4 pairs of these glasses. So the time on.
Man, y'all head too big.
The button on the left